Dayho here with another video for a product that just doesn't exist. Not the product, but the video. I've searched the internet, Googled everything. Even this vendor hardly has any information on this product. But do you have a beat up, or have you bought a beat up FMF muffler that was missing the gasket, the quiet core insert, or the spark arrestor? Well, like most people, you probably threw it away. I don't know how they end up not existing, but I cannot find one for sale on eBay. Asked around, cannot find a spark arrestor. I did have a made up one. I'll see if I can post pictures. I do have pictures of my made up one. It's basically a spark arrestor off Amazon plus a copper core kind of riveted in so it all holds in. But I lost that. Thanks to FMF and their stupid screw here, I ended up stripping a screw. I had the wrong one. That's my fault. But this design's kind of crappy, so end up losing my homemade spark arrestor slash silencer. But I did drop a few bucks on something pretty cool. And here it is, a solution, which hopefully works out for me. Again, excuse the camera angle or this camera. I got a new phone and I don't think it does as good as my old one, but I do what I can. I don't do this for money. But again, I looked everywhere, or not looked everywhere, but I looked, and one, couldn't find an FMF one, couldn't find a good after one. There was one, I can't remember the name. I can't remember why I didn't like. I kind of like this one. Oh yeah, the other one didn't have it didn't advertise as a quiet core or a silencer of any kind, and I'm really, after I lost my homemade one, my ears are just, it's just loud. It's obnoxious. This motorcycle is obnoxious. But so I bought this, a Mitrax. There's not a lot of advertising. The guy makes these out of his shop up in Poland. I can't remember the price. Probably 65 bucks on eBay, or you can go to his website. But this is it. This is how it came. Not fancy packaging, but it doesn't matter. Don't look for fancy. It took about, it was shipped on the 26th. It got here on the 13th. So roughly 3 weeks. The tracking number kind of gets you a little worried. I think it spent about a week and a half, 2 weeks in Poland. And I was a little worried if it was ever coming, but this is it. She's a beaut. Trying to do this while I'm looking through the camera. So it's basically a quiet core. Comes with some hardware, but on the front it says FMF Mitrax 92 decibels. I will be measuring it with and without this core. I don't think I have an accurate measuring device, but at least we can compare open versus this. But it says USF approved. His website's pretty rudimentary. He has pictures of this, maybe like a prototype where it doesn't have this on there. He has pictures with it. Maybe I'll link it up there, but you can find this Mitrax. But there's your spark arrestor. It's tack welded, reinforced with more screen, tack welded in, stainless steel tubing. You can see the bending, but I don't know if the camera is really doing justice, but this thing is beautiful. It's great. I already did kind of fit check it. This hole, pretty precise. I mean, it's spot on. My homemade one, it was kind of trial and error where that hole goes. And when I fit checked this thing, that hole is probably so spot on. I had to get a mallet and pound this in there. This is a little loose fitting, so I'll probably install it with some RTV just to help keep it, because if I lose this, I'm out of some money and I'll have to get me another one. But so let's go with the hardware. He does give you something similar to what FMF, I imagine, used to give you. I don't know. My last WR didn't have a spark arrestor or a silencer on it, but he gives you what FMF probably gives, something similar. It's an M5 by a 0.8 pitch. I don't know what the heck says. Maybe that's a 4. I'm not sure. Gives you a little lock washer. I'm not really sure why, because this thing goes against a curved surface inside there. I'm trying to do this. Let's see. Yeah, the head is pretty small. I guess a lock washer might work, but I am really not going to go with that. If you ever had to put something like this in, trying to drive this in with an Allen wrench turn by turn. It gets pretty annoying. So I went down to my hardware store and just got regular old M5 flange bolt. The head is a little bigger on this. Thought that was cool. I ordered some half moon washers. I thought I could grind them down to help kind of make up for this curve, but honestly, I don't think I'm going to go that route. I was going to leave it as it is. Yeah, I don't think I can get a half moon washer to fit that tiny little gap. Maybe with a little gap like that. They're not here yet. That's a later on project. I'm just trying to get this in. I'm excited. Again, I won't be using an Allen wrench. This is what I keep on my bike when I go, or it's what I keep in my pack. It is an M10. No, God, this is standard. 5/16, but it works. But when I got this installed a little earlier, this takes a long time. So I won't take this with me, but this is what I'll be installing with is an M10 ratcheting wrench. But again, 3 weeks. It's beautiful. It does fit, does work. I can hear the difference, but I'm just making this video because there's nothing out there. Hoping this is a solution for people who are looking for a silencer slash or quiet core slash spark arrestor. I don't know why FMF continues to create a market but not support it. It baffles me. But a little bit they do care. That muffler that I have on the bike now was probably one of the first ones or an early generation of that. I can't remember the model number. Let's see. Yeah, the model number on that muffler, it says 1301/044270. So I know 44270 is the model, and it really is an older version. But I don't know if 1301 is 2001. No, they didn't make WRs back then. But I guess it was 2013. So that muffler's 10 years old, but it was beat up. I mean, there was dents and scratches that needed to be repacked, and that sticker on there, it is a real FMF, but I couldn't find that sticker either. It just doesn't exist. Was on FM's website, but I did email them, and Jason at FMF actually sent me the decals for it for free. So they do care a little bit. I just don't know why they're not making these. There's got to be some demand. It can't be hard to make something like this again. They already did the research, but I'm going to get it in and hopefully get some measurements to see the difference without pissing my neighbors off too much. All right, get it in. For recording decibels, I'm going to be using this AliExpress, eBay, SL814, set to A decibels. I don't know what the difference between A and B is, but for reference, we can see how far am I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 6, 7 feet away from the table, or away from this microphone. I'm also in a garage. This is really not a way to do it, but it's just to compare things. I'm going to close the garage doors. This is just to keep my neighbors happy. I make enough noise as it is. I don't need to piss them off anymore. So set this thing to max. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm just going to I'll take it off max so it can register all the time. I'll do a startup. You can see what it's doing. I'll come back and I'll hit max and crack the throttle. Alright, going max. Alright, so 97.6. It's way louder than that, and I forgot to close the garage door, so I gotta hurry up and get this thing in, and then, do it again before the neighbors get pissed off. So I can't remember what that was. I'll go back to screen, but 97 max with a cold start and a crack of the throttle. Alright, keep that in mind. And this is why I went with a hex. I'm sorry, I could do this quicker, but I'm trying to do this on camera. Anyway, this is why I decided to go with a hex head, not an Allen. You just be here for a while. Before I put this in, I forgot to say that there's no instructions that came with this. Kind of, I guess it's self-explanatory, but I did on the flange of this thing, I did end up putting some fine fancy reddens and all, high temperature crap. I'm sure at 608 degrees, whatever the bottle says, 608, it'll burn off, but that's okay. The residue will help keep sealed. But sealed it up with RTV, and I used some anaerobic sealant, or fancy word for Loctite, on the threads of this. The sealant is not really to seal off the air. This is just to keep me from losing an expensive part of my bike, and the Loctite on the screw, for the same reason. I just try and do anything to keep this from falling off. As I tighten this, I don't really have a lot of confidence in the threads. What they do is in the steel pipe of the FMF, all they did was dimple the pipe and then tap it. Not really good, strong way to make threads. There are right ways, but this isn't that great. As I'm tightening here, I don't have a torque value I'm shooting for, nor do I want to over tighten it. It just does not feel good. I won't have video. It's not a review, but I plan on tack welding a stainless steel nut. I already have the hardware. I was going to do it tonight, but this screw went in really good. Feels somewhat positive, so I'm just going to leave it the way it is. Sorry about this camera, but yeah, that's nice and tight. So let's get this started and try it out. Oh, just for reference, again, FMF Powercore 4, an old one. It has been repacked with FMF packing. Coming downstream, it's all stock. Nothing fancy. I do have the door has holes cut in it with little pop-in filters, an old dirt bike thing. Can't remember who makes them, but so there's about 5 or 6 holes inside this thing for let fresh air. I got the flapper mod. I got since I have the FMF, I also have my air injection system disconnected. It's not there, or it's there, but it's not. It's there, sort of. But I got the standard mods that you'll find on this bike. I did have a tuner, I guess at EJK. Shouldn't always believe the internet. You got a bunch of people that don't know shit, and they just say these bikes run lean from the factory. That is horse crap. When I added that tuner, I noticed my spark plug was jet black, just sooty, and then I put in the tuner, and then I smelled like gasoline wherever I went. Ever since I took the tuner off, I don't smell anymore. I like the way it runs. It does feel a little gross when I crack this. It's something else I gotta deal with. It did run better with the tuner, but I stunk. So this doesn't have a tuner. I might put it back. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that tuner. Sell it, I don't know. But just for reference, it's kind of like this is what everybody else would be doing on their bike when it comes down to the WR250R. All right. Again, I'm gonna start it up, let this run so you can see what it's doing. Then I'm gonna crack the throttle, and then I'll come back, set it to max, crack the throttle, and see what we get. God, I can't remember what numbers. I think it was like 97.6 on the high when I cracked the throttle, but I'll put those numbers back on the screen. And I do have to apologize. I don't have what it sounds like when it's warm. I just want to hurry up and get this thing, get this part in, so when I'm ready to ride, it's ready to go. But before I put this video, I'll probably take it for a ride. Maybe I'll do it tonight if I can do it gently without pissing people off, and just give you an opinion on how it sounds when I go down the road. No numbers, but again, this is with the insert in, and let's go. So we're set. I'll come back. I'll start it. I don't know if it shows on the camera. It's a little less offensive. It's not banging off the walls, just obnoxious. So let's set this to max, and I'll crack the throttle. How about that? Definitely a different sound. On the website, they did advertise that this thing's going to give it a lower tone or more throaty. I'm not sure what they advertise. I didn't think reducing the diameter is going to make it sound throatier or lower, but right there you get, pretty sure it was 97 high. Now we're down to 85. I don't have a internet with me, but maybe I'll get a screen capture of that. I thought that, no, wait, hold on. Yep. On the insert itself, it says 92 decibels. I don't know if that's for legal reasons, where they require you to be a certain volume, and I guess if Mr. Forest Ranger sees it in print, he'll believe you, but I'm going to start this up again and see if we can get louder than 85.6 without pissing my neighbors off. Alright, there you go. Good Lord, backfire. Now I smell. But anyway, I think there's some proof there. I can only get it to 90 with the hard rev. I think this thing gets, excuse me, I think this thing actually gets a little quieter once it warms up, but I'm going to go for a little putz around the neighborhood. It's definitely quieter. Sorry about the camera and shit, but I'm not a professional. Lights one's up, and you can hear it. Definitely quieter. Less, I don't know what to say. Boomier. I don't know if the tone is still got a low sound, but as soon as the traffic gets out of the way, I'm gonna take off so you can hear it. Hopefully you can hear it. Hopefully this video works out. All right, so hopefully that me running down the street gives you an idea. Well, it honestly it kind of sounds like when you got an OEM muffler from the OEM muffler. What the hell am I saying? It sounds like when you got the OEM muffler. That's about what it sounds like. I can hear all the other all the other engine components running. I can hear the chain. I can hear the transmission. I can hear the engine. So it's definitely quieter going down the road, definitely friendly in my neighborhood. Doesn't have a really cool thud, kind of like how it did, but it honestly got obnoxious. By the time I got to work, I just didn't want to ride this thing anymore. One thing I did notice that happened with my homemade spark arrestor slash silencer, or whatever we want to call it, quiet core. You got different materials. You got aluminum, you got steel, so this thing's piping hot. There's a little bit of gap on my RTV, so I'm not sure RTV is going to do any good. This thing's going to be contracting and decontracting, contracting, whatever. It's going to be doing shit with the heat, and that RTV is probably not going to do anything, but I have to keep an eye on this. I don't trust this damn screw in there. That terrible idea, way to put these things, but there you go. It kind of looks good. I mean, I trust it. It works great. Sounds great. But like I said, the sound is kind of like an OEM muffler that's been gutted. So kind of back to where I started, but hey, at least I look cool because I got an FMF muffler, right? A little more footage. Now that she's warmed up, I thought maybe I'd get an idle so we can see what it sounds like once it's warmed up, and then, like I said, I'll come back, hit max, and I'll crack the throttle and piss the neighbors off. There you go. Now max. So there you go. I don't even hit 90 when I'm cracking that throttle. Also, God, you know what? It actually may have done some good to put this thing in. If you're still watching, I did mention earlier that when I took the fuel tuner off, there was a little bit of a throttle thing. Kind of like a, I don't know, it's hard, like a hesitation. That hesitation's gone now, or mostly gone. So maybe the motorcycles aren't running lean from factory, but once you start doing all that horse shit that everybody else does to the WRs, maybe it was running real lean, but putting this restriction in the exhaust system kind of brought it back where it should be. So that's a good thing. Again, hopefully this helps somebody out. I think this is a pretty cool option instead of trying to make your own, or beg FMF, or just trolling. just going through eBay looking for a used one or asking around, getting on forums, whatever, this one's pretty good. I'm happy with my purchase, so hopefully it helps out. Thanks again.